Okay, welcome to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, Private Investigator Ed Opperman. You can find me at Opperman Investigations and Digital Forensic Consulting. If you reach out to me through my email, oppermaninvestigations@gmail.com. If you like our show, be sure to check out our Patreon. I just put up there for free in the free section on Patreon. What do you call it? The volume 1 of the Jack Smith and I guess it was the indictment and complaint against Trump for the January 6th. And so we're waiting for volume 2. We'll put that up there too for free. But a lot of free stuff up there. By the time you hear this, the Alaskan Avenger will be up there. I got an exclusive interview with him, fresh off the heels of 8 years in prison. This guy was abused as a child, and then when he became an adult, he looked up sex offenders on the registry in Alaska and showed up at their house with a hammer, and showed them some goodwill and good tidings for all up there in Alaska. So that's all on the Patreon. Otherwise, you go to Spreaker.com and do a live show there every Friday night, 8 p.m. There's a chat room. You get an email notification when I put up new content. And we also put up brand new repeats, just about every night of the week. I have one of my favorite guests on there, Mike Parziale. He's been on here 100 times. I got to do maybe I'll do it tomorrow or this week, a whole marathon of just Mike Parziale. MJVictims.com. Expert on the Michael Jackson case, but also, too, this guy's recommended so many guests over the years to me. He's got a YouTube channel, too, as well, called MJ Victims, and his Twitter is also MJ Victims. And he's working on a series right now on his YouTube channel called Nocturnal Admissions. Great content he's sending us here today. He's got all this updated information on Wade Robeson and James Safechuck and new accusers and all kind of great stuff. Mr. Mike Parziale, are you there? How you doing, bro? Hey, remind the audience, who is Mike Parziale? No, I know exactly what you're talking about. You make a comment, and then you have like 25 people, passionate fans, you assume. But then we were just talking off the air, and you were saying about how the estate, they have the ability to manipulate things on Google and Wikipedia and stuff like that. And I've even experienced, too, we didn't get a chance to talk about it off the air, where when you're in the middle of negotiations in a lawsuit, I've seen articles get taken down, okay, like during negotiations, as part of the negotiations, and Wikipedia entries get removed in the middle of the negotiations. So do you think it's just the naive, passionate fans, or do you think it is more of an organized, paid operation here to manipulate this story? Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, content on Twitter can totally be manipulated. I've had people on here that talk about how Roger Stone gets, he can get anybody like 500,000 followers, like in a short period of time. Yeah, and you can buy aged. You can go on Fiverr and buy aged Twitter accounts. They're available out there. You can buy, year, 2 years old with four or 500 followers already. That's out there. Hey, by the way, I was going to ask you too. Do you have you been following Paris Jackson on Instagram? Very interesting Instagram account. Okay, she's very close friends with Elliot Mintz, who was the spokesperson for John Lennon when he got assassinated, and later on it was Paris Hilton's private agent, a promoter agent. And he was also the promoter agent, too, for Gina Rodriguez, who did all that stuff with the Tiger Woods case and Stormy Daniels and stuff. So he's around doing a lot of stuff. But she's full blown witchcraft. She's doing full blown witchcraft with her and her girlfriends on the beach, man, like burning sacrifices and candles and the whole. Oh yeah, man! Right, Michael Jackson probably would have went nuts if he saw that. Yeah, if he was still Jehovah's Witness toward the end, who knows? So, as for today's top, oh really? Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, so what's the update though on Wade Robeson and James Safechuck, the civil trial? Right. Right. Interesting too, the difference between the P. Diddy allegations, which everybody believes right away. You don't see these fanatical fans defending him, very rarely. And the P. Diddy lawsuits too. There's like 100 of them against him. No one's attacking those people. And, you know? Yeah. 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 All right. Yeah. It seems a lot of the Michael Jackson fans too. They're like a little bit off. They're a little mental illness there. They're a little wacky. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I think he's the kind of guy too that he would pick out certain ones, I guess, and kind of encourage them. Like, oh, I can manipulate this and that over here. Couple of things though. Back to back to by the way, that's a quote from Podesta, from the Podesta emails, saying, "Don't worry, we have access to people with mental illness, and we'll send them in there for you." To go in there and disrupt things. I know, right? It's called weaponized mental illness. They take people with mental illness and they weaponize them. But moving back to Diddy quickly, okay? Did you watch the video with Jonathan Odie? Um, I'm gonna send it to you, bro. You're gonna love it. It's this guy. He was a sex worker, dancer. That Diddy would hire to have sex with women and men. It was one of Diddy's sex workers. So this guy goes, he decides he wants to go and shoot up Donald Trump's golf course there in Miami, right? The Doral golf course. So they got video of him. He's in there running around. He's shooting over, at cops. He's shooting over his shoulder at these cops. He's sliding around on the slippery floor. I was like, hey, first they have that video. Then he says, okay, I want to talk, but I only want to talk to the U.S. Secret Service. He gives a 30-minute interview with the U.S. Secret Service where he gets into all this stuff. 2019, all this stuff about Cassie, all this stuff about sex trafficking, about drugs. This is the first. And he's telling it to the feds right there. They have to refer that. His case in 2025 still has no disposition. It's been ongoing for all these years. He's got to be an informant. He's got to be working for the feds. And because it's an open and shut case, he's on film shooting at cops. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, it's like as open and shut as you can get. I'll send you that video. And again, to another one, I have a question for you. What do you make of Ali Carter? Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I interviewed those parents, the stepfather, Abe and Elle. I interviewed both of them. And after the interview, they totally fell apart. And that's a bizarre operation, those two are running. I don't know what happened to those kids or anything happened to them, but those two parents are a mess. Uh, yeah. Well, how would she know that? But the thing is, with her, is she her initial claim to fame was that she was held prisoner underneath the Getty Museum with 100,000 kids under there that are being held. The guy that made that up is Stephen D. Kelly. He made up that story. This guy's a total crackpot, claiming to be CIA and NSA and all this stuff like that. But he was really a pornographer at the time. So she stole the story from him. And that's how she got her start. How people don't go track back to the origins of these people and find out what's going on. I don't know. She's. I'll tell you. I'll send you. Oh, absolutely. I don't know. You know what? Maybe something happened to her in some kind of way, but there's no way she was under the Getty. The whole Getty story is nonsense. That was totally made up by a guy who's bipolar. The guy has a lot of problems. You know. I'll send you that show too, man. I did a whole report on that Stephen D. Kelly and the Getty story, and even he says he never. Yeah, yeah. Even he says he's never actually been down there and seen all this. He used his astral projection powers to go down there and see all that. I know, I know. But back to real stuff. We got Mike Parziale here from MJVictims.com, a serious advocate for the truth here and an advocate for abuse victims. So let's try and keep it a little bit serious, serious topics. Now, and all this, you says there's new accusers now. There's a new lawsuit or new accusers who got paid off. What's that? Okay. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm. Mm. You got to wonder about the parents, the parents, because I've heard all these names through Diane Diamond. Okay, I don't know. If, I can picture it. It was some kind of documentary or TV program. And Diane Diamond's voice mentioning these names, the Casios, the Amens. But you have to wonder, where were the parents in all this? If every kid in your family is being targeted by someone who is on criminal charges, you know? Yeah. Mm. But even if you, I don't care who you trust. I don't want to give my kid away for a couple of months or whatever. You know, I like hanging out with my kid. You know, I love my kids. Why would I want to let someone go live with someone else? You know, I want to teach them every night. I want them to learn new things from me, my experiences and stuff. You know, insane. Ugh. Yeah. Didn't some of these brothers go to work for him too? Didn't some of these brothers go to work for him? Yeah, see, they were employed by him later on too as they got older. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm recalling. I'm remembering now. In the back of the limousine or nearby the limousine, one of Michael Jackson's really creeped out, sleazy friends pointing at those kids and waving them over. You know, like there was nothing innocent about the way this guy was waving them over. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And you have that video on your YouTube channel? Yeah, well, after I saw that clip of Oprah Winfrey there in his movie theater with the bed for the little children to come and lie on the bed, and when I saw that, what? You know, I'm not suspicious about that. Give me a break. All right, reporter Stacy Brown. What's his story? Oh, really? Okay. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm not surprised, man. Like I mentioned on the show several times. In Hollywood, the showbiz, they have these guys, man, these professional stalkers that just will drive you nuts, man. You know, and just wear you down. And I've dealt with it with one of these guys who worked for an estate of a famous producer that I mentioned on the show a few times, and they'll just wear you down, man. You know, and they are a serious threat too, and they seem to get away with it. Yeah, Yeah. It's cheaper to kill you. Okay. You know? It's cheaper to kill you. Oh yeah, when you sent me these notes, yeah. When you sent me these notes, I had no idea what we were talking about. Yeah. Oh wait, real quick, you reminded me of something. I got something I bet you never heard of. Okay, and I got this from the Paul Baresi, the private investigator for Michael Jackson. Is that the Menendez brothers, when they were little kids, would go visit Netherland? Yeah, man. No one talks about that. Yeah. Yep. Their father was friends with the architect that did work at Netherland, and that's how they got to go visit Neverland. Well, yeah, and you know his whole story with Menudo too. So, yeah, birds of a feather. Yeah, yeah. I hear about K-pop. I have no idea what it is. Okay. I hear about it. Yeah. Right, right. Yep. It seems to be. So now you mentioned here too that the John Branca, who by the way was Michael Jackson's best man. Michael Jackson was his best man at the wedding. He made some revealing statements on these new accusers. Was that covered already? Yeah. Also too, he had wiretapping equipment that you didn't have to attach any equipment onto the line. You could just do it remotely from his office. He could just dial somebody's number and listen to their phone calls. Oh, really? No, I hadn't heard that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've had him on the show a few times. I think he's about 80, 90% accurate. He mentioned a couple of things I was personally involved in that I knew was inaccurate, but otherwise we seem to agree on mostly most stuff. You know, anti lawyer. Yeah. Oh no, I mean, listen. Well, Ted Rubenstein said to me once, I said, "What do you think of so and so?" He goes, "He's right half the time, just like everybody else. We can't be right 100% of the time. Well, we're all wrong half the time. It's just that some people admit it and some people don't." So, Vincent, yeah, Vincent Amen. And what is he inferring this may be about? Yeah. Yeah. I believe that, and I tell you something. As I recall this Diane Diamond TV show, I recall all these names you're mentioning here, the Amens and the Casios and these guys, and they just heard description of them and the video they had of them. Just their names and their little operation are stuck in my mind all these years. So, which means something to me. So, what is Omar Body? What is his story and his cryptic Twitter posts, tweets? They call them. Yeah. So we're talking to Mike Parziale. You can find him at mjvictims.com, which links goes to his Facebook page. But also check out his YouTube, mjvictims.com, on YouTube. And this series he's doing, the Nocturnal Admissions. So now we got about 5 minutes left, Mike. Your comments on some of the ex-personalities you've been calling out? Okay. Uh, Attorney General? Yeah. Right. The Attorney General's office is supposed to be independent from the president or the Congress, or yeah, it's an independent prosecutor. Supposed to be. But you know, Mike, also too, if you got someone like that who is causing trouble for the traffickers, then and they can have some blackmail dirt on him, or they can pay him off to discredit himself. That's another tactic out there too, yeah, to destroy the opposition. But Mike Parziale, we are out of time, my friend. Uh, you got to come back more often, okay, man? You got to promise me that. Mike Parziale, mjvictims.com. Check out his YouTube channel, MJ Victims, and also to his series, Nocturnal Admissions. Mike, thank you so much, man. Good night, bro.
The people. None, Your Honor. All right. Do you have any witnesses?